Caitlin Clark's golf debut just made me so upset with the WNBA.
Man, the WNBA is probably kicking themselves right now, and honestly, it's kind of wild to watch. The LPGA just totally stepped up and showed everyone exactly how to treat a star like Caitlin Clark. This whole situation? It's not her fault people are getting upset.
It is no fault of hers that I got upset. It is the fault of the WNBA because the LPGA just did everything that the WNBA should have been doing this season. They did it all correct in literally one.
Seriously, the LPGA rolled out the red carpet for Caitlin Clark. They gave her all the respect and attention she truly deserves. Meanwhile, the WNBA is probably just sitting there, biting their nails, wondering how they managed to mess this up so badly.
This event, I have only seen and heard of positive things. I didn't hear one thing about how her fans are toxic. I didn't hear one thing about there being too much spotlight on Caitlin Clark and it should have maybe been on the professional golfers that are there. We didn't hear any of that. And those are the types of things that we have been hearing for the entirety of the WNBA.
It's crazy, right? Does it really matter whether she's sinking putts or draining threes? Her fans just can't get enough of her. After she lit up that golf event recently, her supporters practically blew up social media, demanding a TV special just to watch her swing a club.
Originally wasn't even going to be televised, but there were so many fans who were emailing the organization saying, how can we watch Caitlin? Can we come to the event?
So the LPGA saw that electric buzz, that undeniable star power, and made an offer Caitlin Clark just couldn't say no to. But here's the thing. Kathy Engelbert and the WNBA are basically stuck eating humble pie now. They completely mishandled their biggest star, and honestly, they let her shine somewhere else.
LPGA event is expanding its pro-am coverage around Caitlin Clark's participation. Golf Channel's Golf Today will begin 90 minutes early on Wednesday and include live look-ins. It has also been said that you will get to see Caitlin Clark's warm-up.
And get this, the LPGA are clearly marketing geniuses. They jumped on this opportunity, bringing in Caitlin Clark, the unstoppable force in women's basketball, for a golf event. It's like they discovered a secret marketing weapon no one even knew existed. This whole situation exploded into a gold mine, way bigger than even the most optimistic event planners could have dreamed of.
LPGA tour had Caitlin Clark play, and the LPGA, fans, the event was taken over by the ominous crowd that made sure to go get angry at everything Caitlin Clark.
What's crazy is, this is where it really gets interesting. Before the event, there wasn't even a whisper about broadcasting Caitlin Clark's golf appearance on TV. But then, Clark's army of fans hit social media, demanding that every single one of her swings be shown. The LPGA, not being dumb, listened. They made a last-minute call that changed everything and rushed to get it on air. And you know what? Their bold gamble paid off beyond belief. That golf event went from a quiet day on the greens to a must-see, headline-grabbing sensation.
There are photos of Caitlin and Nelly literally everywhere, and the LPGA was so smart in doing this because they knew that there would be so many eyeballs on Caitlin. So if they put their number one golfer, who is currently leading the sport and pushing the sport ahead, if they put her next to Caitlin for the entire event, that's just great. It's great for Nelly and it's great for everyone.
So, let's talk about how one basketball player basically stole the show from every other women's sport just by walking onto a golf course. Thanks to Caitlin Clark's magic touch, her performance was so captivating it literally thrust the LPGA into a spotlight usually reserved for way bigger sports. Her golf swing, combined with that incredible charisma, drew in everyone from diehard basketball fans to casual viewers. The buzz was so strong, you could practically feel it vibrating through your phone screen.
LPGA, you can see when it came to them that they were happy that Caitlin Clark was there. They knew exactly the value that Caitlin Clark brought.
Now, if you thought Caitlin Clark and Nelly courted together was just some lucky accident, think again. That was a brilliant strategic matchup. The LPGA knew exactly what they were doing. Pairing her with the world's best golfer was straight out of the marketing playbook. And honestly, pictures of them together were so popular you couldn't scroll for more than a second without seeing Caitlin and Nelly's faces all over Instagram and Twitter.
There was so much buzz online. She was trending on Twitter, all of the things. And the LPGA was promoting the crap out of this.
What's really wild is how this moment came together. The LPGA pulled off the ultimate power play by bringing in Caitlin Clark. They drew in Clark's massive basketball fan base and cast a brighter light on the entire sport. People who'd normally never watch golf were suddenly glued to their screens. The LPGA proved that with the right strategy, you can captivate a brand new audience and spark their interest like never before.
Whole event, they saw how important it was that new fans were getting involved in golf, especially women.
And here's where it gets even more interesting. The LPGA wasn't just, riding Caitlin's wave. They completely transformed it into a full-on masterclass in sports marketing. They weren't worried about overshadowing anyone or playing it safe. Instead, they fully embraced Clark's star power. In a world where women's sports are constantly fighting for recognition, the LPGA just delivered a clinic on how to do it right, and it paid off unbelievably well.
What she has done for women's sports and basketball, and to have her at our golf tournament, I'm like in awe. I've got a basketball and hoping she signs it for my girls. But how cool for her to come out and support us this week and only help grow women's.
The LPGA's social media game during Caitlin Clark's golf debut was next level. It felt like a full-on party, like when a rock star randomly shows up at your backyard barbecue on September 19th, 2025. The LPGA basically blew up the internet. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, you name it, they were all buzzing. There was a flood of photos showing Caitlin and Nelly Korda grinning ear to ear, videos of Clark's golf swing that can make Tiger Woods do a double take, and clips of her signing autographs like she was the main event at every sports fan's dream festival.
WNBA, when it came to Caitlin Clark, it was a lot of we don't need you and we were good before and we don't like your fans, and
activity just absolutely skyrocketed. Her loyal followers devoured every bit of it. Videos of Clark's swing racked up millions of views faster than you could even blink. A T1 point. Twitter was overflowing with posts about her, and a hashtag celebrity scandal was even circulating around Clark's golf debut. The LPGA totally knew how to play their marketing cards. People who'd never even thought about watching golf were suddenly glued to their screens. And those social media posts? They weren't just attracting attention, they were stealing it, even overshadowing some of the biggest men's sports stories that day. Now that's a marketing masterclass.
This event, I have only seen and heard of positive things. I didn't hear one thing about how her fans are toxic. I didn't hear one thing about there being too much spotlight on Caitlin Clark and it should have maybe been on the professional golfers that are there. We didn't hear any of that. And those are the types of things that we have been hearing for the entirety of the WNBA.
Now, let's bring in the WNBA. The league that basically seemed to take a digital vacation during this whole spectacle, while the LPGA was soaking up all the hype and practically swimming in engagement metrics. The WNBA was completely silent. Not a single tweet, not one story about Caitlin Clark, even as she was bringing a tidal wave of new fans into women's sports. This wasn't just a marketing blunder. It felt like a massive slap in the face to every diehard WNBA fan who's been rooting for her through everything.
They did everything they could to sabotage their own league. And yeah, it backfired. For me anyway, I think it's hard to argue that it didn't completely backfire for them because Caitlin Clark is more popular now.
The thing is, Caitlin Clark isn't just some flash-in-the-pan athlete. Since her freshman year at Iowa in 2025, she's been a scoring machine, averaging almost 28 points per game and leaving fans speechless with every single highlight. Do you think the WNBA would be all over her, right? Especially when she became the first player in NCAA history to record a 40-point, 0-assist triple-double in a tournament game back on March 26th. But nope, even when ESPN was rolling out the red carpet for her, the WNBA's response was barely a whisper. Fans were furious, lighting up social media and begging the league to promote her. But apparently, the WNBA had better things to do.
The WNBA posted nothing. Posted zero about Caitlin Clark golfing in this pro-am.
So, for a while now, critics have been speculating that the WNBA's hesitation to really hype up Caitlin Clark comes from this weird fear that focusing too much on one player might upset the league's existing stars. But come on, that's a totally nonsensical approach in today's sports world, where star power is everything. Look, the NBA built its entire empire by integrating superstars like LeBron James and Steph Curry into the cultural conversation. Meanwhile, the WNBA's overly conservative approach feels like it's stuck in a completely different era.
This was the perfect opportunity for the WNBA to do, like, have you seen it when an NBA player or a football player goes to an NBA game or goes to wherever and they'll be in the comments or they'll just say something like something cute? This was the perfect time for the WNBA to also be posting about.
Everyone knows the WNBA is honestly hurting itself by ignoring Caitlin Clark's impact. She's so much more than just a player. She's a walking, talking, shooting brand with over 750,000 social media followers and a fan base that could breathe new life into any sports league. But the WNBA acts like promoting her would trigger some kind of doomsday scenario. It's totally backfiring and could even hurt the future of rising stars like Paige Buchers, who's set to join soon. If the league can't figure out how to leverage someone as game-changing as Clark, then seriously, what hope is there for the next generation?
Look at the LPGA Twitter account. It is filled with Caitlin Clark things. Photos of her, a whole video of the fans cheering, her signing things, taking photos, their players hanging out with Caitlin, and obviously they're showing their golfers.
Even sports analysts are totally fed up with this. Back in June 2025, John Hollinger from The Athletic released a damning piece ripping the WNBA for failing to capitalize on the Caitlin Clark effect. He pointed out the league's stagnant viewership and highlighted how the LPGA was absolutely crushing them in the marketing game. Hollinger noted that athletes are starting to realize what worked 10 years ago is now completely out of touch. Then, in an interview with Sports Illustrated on July 14, 2025, two-time MVP and league legend Breanna Stewart didn't hold back. She hammered home the need to market the league's top stars. She didn't mention Caitlin by name, but let's be real, the message was loud and clear. Stewart knows visibility is everything, and fans are tired of just venting online. There was even a Reddit post titled ***, why doesn't the WNBA support Caitlin Clark? *** that racked up over 10,000 upvotes, sparking a massive debate about the league's puzzling decisions.
Perfect opportunity for the WNBA to do, have you seen it when an NBA player or a football player goes to an NBA game or goes to wherever and they'll be in the comments or they'll just say something like something cute? This was the perfect time for the WNBA to also be posting about.
Honestly, the way the LPGA handled Caitlin Clark perfectly shows what happens when a league actually gets its act together. They didn't just welcome her, they put on a whole show. But here's the kicker. While fans and analysts are practically begging for change, the WNBA is still stuck in its own little world, clinging tightly to these totally outdated marketing techniques. If they don't wake up soon, they're going to keep missing out on massive opportunities.